Long before European settlers arrived, the land now known as Texas was home to a rich tapestry of Native American civilizations. Tribes such as the Caddo in the east, the Comanche and Kiowa on the plains, the Apache in the west, and the Karankawa along the Gulf Coast had thrived for centuries, each with unique social structures, languages, and traditions. They relied on the land's diverse resources for survival, hunting bison on the plains, fishing along rivers and the Gulf, and cultivating crops in fertile regions. Seasonal migration and trade networks linked these communities, creating cultural exchange and economic stability across the vast territory. The first Europeans to reach Texas were Spanish explorers in the early 16th century. Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca, shipwrecked along the Gulf Coast in 1528, wandered through Texas for years, documenting the land, people, and wildlife. His accounts, along with subsequent expeditions by explorers like Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, introduced Europeans to the region's vast plains, rivers, and mountain ranges. Spain claimed the territory, establishing missions, forts, and settlements to consolidate power, convert Native Americans to Christianity, and secure strategic lands against French and other foreign interests. Spanish missions, beginning with San Antonio de Valero, later the Alamo, in 1718, were crucial in shaping Texas' early colonial society. These missions provided religious instruction, agricultural training, and a foothold for Spanish influence in the region. Ranching became a central economic activity, with large land grants awarded to settlers who maintained cattle and livestock herds. These ranchos helped establish Texas' distinctive ranching culture, combining Spanish, Mexican, and Native American traditions in daily life, language, and land management practices. In 1821, Mexico gained independence from Spain, making Texas part of the new Mexican nation. Mexican policies encouraged settlement, including granting land to empresarios like Stephen F. Austin, who brought Anglo-American settlers to East Texas. This influx of immigrants created a complex social and cultural landscape, where Mexican traditions mixed with Anglo settlers' customs, creating tensions and cooperation alike. Disputes over governance, land rights, and slavery eventually escalated into broader political conflict, setting the stage for Texas' struggle for independence. The Texas Revolution, beginning in 1835, marked a decisive chapter in the region's history. Anglo settlers, Tejano, Texans of Mexican heritage, and native allies fought against Mexican rule, culminating in the pivotal Battle of San Jacinto in 1836, where Texian forces led by Sam Houston defeated General Santa Anna's army. Texas declared its independence, forming the Republic of Texas, a sovereign nation that lasted until 1845. During this period, Texas established its own government, currency, military, and diplomatic relations, balancing internal political challenges with external threats and ambitions. Economic growth in the Republic of Texas relied on agriculture, ranching, and trade. Cotton and cattle became economic mainstays, while ports such as Galveston facilitated commerce with the United States and international markets. The population was diverse, including Anglo settlers, Tejano, African Americans, both enslaved and free, and Native Americans, creating a vibrant yet contested social landscape. Conflicts with native tribes persisted, as expansion and settlement disrupted traditional lands and livelihoods, reflecting the broader challenges of frontier development. In 1845, Texas joined the United States as the 28th state, an event that intensified tensions leading to the Mexican-American War. Statehood brought federal support, military protection, and integration into national infrastructure and governance. Railroads, roads, and telegraph lines gradually connected Texas' vast territory, linking cities like Houston, Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio, and fostering trade, migration, and economic development. Agriculture and ranching expanded further, with technological innovations such as barbed wire transforming cattle management and settlement patterns. Natural resources have always defined Texas' economy and identity. The state's rivers, plains, forests, and coastline provided water, fertile land, timber, and food. Later discoveries of oil and natural gas in the early 20th century transformed Texas into an energy powerhouse, fueling industrial growth, urban expansion, and national economic influence. Cities such as Houston and Dallas emerged as major centers of commerce, culture, and innovation, while rural areas continued to sustain agricultural and ranching traditions that remain integral to the state's heritage. By the late 19th century, Texas had established itself as a land of opportunity, resilience, and cultural richness. Its history, rooted in Native American civilizations, Spanish and Mexican colonization, Anglo settlement, revolutionary struggle, and economic transformation, shaped a distinct identity. Texas became a state where diverse peoples, industries, and landscapes interacted, creating a legacy of independence, growth, and enduring cultural pride. As the 20th century dawned, Texas emerged from its frontier past into a period of rapid economic growth, urbanization, and cultural development. The state's vast size, natural resources, and strategic location made it a magnet for investment, migration, and industrial expansion. While ranching and agriculture continued to anchor much of the economy, new industries, particularly oil and gas, transformed Texas into a national and global powerhouse. The development of cities, transportation networks, and cultural institutions reflected a state evolving rapidly, balancing tradition with innovation, and regional identity with national influence. One of the most transformative events in Texas history was the discovery of oil. In 1901, the Spindletop gusher near Beaumont erupted with unprecedented volumes of crude, igniting the Texas oil boom. This single discovery shifted the economic landscape dramatically, fueling urban growth, industrialization, and international attention. Oil fields spread across the state, from East Texas to the Permian Basin, attracting investors, engineers, and laborers. Cities such as Houston, Dallas, and Fort Worth became hubs for the oil and energy industry, with refineries, pipelines, and corporate headquarters shaping their urban identities. The newfound wealth generated by oil supported infrastructure development, education, and public services, accelerating Texas integration into the national economy. Industrialization extended beyond energy. The growth of railroads, highways, and ports connected Texas' diverse regions, facilitating trade and migration. Rail lines enabled agricultural and industrial goods to reach national markets efficiently, while road networks and later the interstate highway system linked urban centers and rural communities. The Port of Houston and Galveston became vital gateways for international trade, fostering connections with Latin America, Europe, and Asia. Texas transportation infrastructure laid the foundation for its economic diversification and regional influence. Agriculture remained central to Texas' identity and economy. Cotton, cattle, and later crops such as sorghum, corn, and citrus continued to thrive in fertile plains and river valleys. Large ranches, particularly in West Texas and the Panhandle, maintained traditions of cattle herding and ranching culture, while smaller farms diversified production. Technological innovations, including mechanized farming equipment, irrigation systems, and refrigeration, increased productivity and connected Texas agricultural output to global markets. Rural communities remained deeply connected to cultural traditions while adapting to modern economic realities. Urbanization accelerated alongside industrialization. Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Fort Worth transformed from modest towns into major metropolitan centers. Houston's growth was fueled by the oil industry, ports, and medical research, establishing it as a center of commerce, culture, and innovation. Dallas became a financial and industrial hub, while Austin emerged as the state's educational and cultural capital, home to the University of Texas and a growing technology sector. San Antonio preserved its historic heritage, including the Alamo, while integrating modern industry and tourism. These cities reflected Texas' ability to balance economic expansion with cultural preservation, shaping a distinctive urban identity that blended history, commerce, and innovation. Culturally, Texas experienced a flourishing of arts, music, and education. The state's diverse population, including Anglo settlers, African Americans, Mexican Americans, and immigrant communities, contributed to a rich tapestry of traditions. Music genres such as country, blues, Tejano, and later rock and roll found deep roots in Texas cities and rural areas alike. Cultural institutions, including museums, theaters, and universities, nurtured artistic expression, research, and historical preservation. Festivals, rodeos, and community events celebrated regional heritage while welcoming national and international visitors. Texas' political and social landscape evolved alongside its economic transformation. Progressive reforms, labor movements, and civil rights advocacy shaped governance, labor policies, and public life. African American and Mexican American communities pushed for equality, access to education, and fair labor practices, influencing legislation and social programs. Political leadership in Texas navigated the balance between industrial growth, social equity, and cultural preservation, reflecting the complex interplay of tradition and modernity in a rapidly changing state. Natural resources continued to define Texas' economy and identity. Beyond oil, the state exploited natural gas, timber, and minerals, while rivers and aquifers supported agriculture and urban development. Water management, particularly in arid regions of West Texas, became increasingly important, leading to dam construction, irrigation projects, and reservoir systems. Energy, water, and land management became integral to Texas' long-term planning, ensuring that industrial growth did not compromise the state's environmental and agricultural sustainability. The 20th century also saw Texas play a critical role in national defense and technological innovation. Military bases across the state contributed to defense readiness, while aerospace and defense industries flourished in cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio. Research institutions and universities partnered with private companies to advance technology, energy, and medical innovation, reinforcing Texas' position as a leader in multiple industries. These developments shaped the state's economy, workforce, and global reputation, making it a destination for talent, investment, and innovation. Tourism and recreation emerged as significant sectors in Texas' economy. The state's diverse landscapes, including the Gulf Coast, Hill Country, Big Bend, and the Plains, attracted visitors for leisure, adventure, and cultural experiences. National parks, historic sites, and urban attractions offered opportunities for education and entertainment, while rodeos, festivals, and music events showcased Texas' unique cultural identity. Tourism became intertwined with economic development, promoting regional pride and preserving historical and natural heritage. By the 21st century, Texas had become a global economic, cultural, and technological powerhouse. Its economy was diverse, spanning energy, agriculture, manufacturing, technology, and tourism. Urban centers were hubs of innovation and culture, while rural areas maintained agricultural production and heritage traditions. Immigration, migration, and demographic shifts enriched cultural diversity, creating a society that reflected both historical roots and modern aspirations. Texas' natural landscapes continued to inspire and sustain its population, contributing to a unique identity shaped by opportunity, resilience, and adaptability. The story of modern Texas is one of transformation, resilience, and ambition. From frontier settlements and the Republic of Texas to industrial growth, oil wealth, urban expansion, and technological innovation, the state has continually evolved. Its diverse peoples, rich natural resources, and strategic position have made Texas a leader in the United States and the world. Today, Texas stands as a symbol of economic strength, cultural richness, and enduring heritage, a state where history and modernity coexist, shaping a future full of possibilities. The story of modern Texas is one of transformation, resilience, and ambition. From frontier settlements and the Republic of Texas to industrial growth, oil wealth, urban expansion, and technological innovation, the state has continually evolved. Its diverse peoples, rich natural resources, and strategic position have made Texas a leader in the United States and the world. Today, Texas stands as a symbol of economic strength, cultural richness, and enduring heritage, a state where history and modernity coexist, shaping a future full of possibilities.